Hello, I am meta.versus, and I'm here today to read to you A Goblin's Christmas, a royalty-free, public domain Christmas story. The big, bright moon hung high and round in a densely darkened sky. The tall pines swayed and mocked and groaned. The mountains grew so high that the man in the moon came out and said, "Ho, spooks for a merry dance." The winds blow hard and the caverns roar, while over the earth they prance. A witch and a goblin led the sprites. Out from the sky they sprung, and down the Milky Way they slid, and over a chasm swung. The streams around ran witch's broth. The fumes were strong and rank. These elfin creatures all were wroth, while of the stuff they drank. The cunning moon looked on and laughed, with a shrill and sneering jibe. Her soul grew fat to see them chafed, this mad and elfish tribe. The big black cauldron boiled so high with the food for these queer mites that it lit the world throughout the sky, and down came all the sprites. Their mad career upset a star, as though the air they flew. It cringed in fear, and shot afar, and fell where no one knew. Orion's sword was broke in bits, Corona's crown was gone, Capella seemed to lose her wits, while all so longed for dawn. Then from the night there came a sound of sleigh bells ringing sweet. Out of the chaos came a man, Kris Kringle, for his Christmas treat. "Ho, Kris," they cried, "we'll have some fun. We'll bind the old man down, we'll tie him up, and we'll toss him over into our goblin town." They climbed the sleigh with shout and din to bind his hands and feet. 100 strong they clambered in, our good old Kris to meet. He sat quite still with twinkling eyes, then seized his mystic wand. He raised it up and waved it around. Stilled was this chattering band. He shook his reins and called his steed to bear him swiftly on. Full well it knew its master's need to hurry over the dawn. From house to house they scampered down, their sleigh bells ringing clear, through chimneys in a sleepy town. Good Kris and his reindeer. The windows rattled, the moonbeams tattled, a tale so strange and queer. Not funny. Stiffly and stark, still they stood, clad in elvish clothes. Some were wax and some were wood. One had crushed his nose. "Playthings rare," he said and smiled, "for children rich and poor. For some I'll leave the crippled child, and some the orphan's door." They told how at night, in dire affright, the moon had hidden fear, that he'd call and sport his elvish court of spooks and witches gay. Still not funny. Each elfin child, by glee beguiled, brought scores of others, they say. Then a man appeared with a flowing beard in a sled with a reindeer fleet. They gathered about with din and shout to bind him hands and feet. Then the moon laughed loud at the gathered crowd, while he held his sides in mirth, to see old Kris in a plight like this, toiling over the earth. But alas for the moon, he had laughed like a loon, for Kris is a hero of old. Yes, Kris is a seer with a small reindeer. He captured the goblins bold, and he changed them, they say, in a wonderful way, to toys for his Christmas cheer. The big dolls stare with a goblin air, the small ones cringe with fear. While the moonbeams prattle, I hear a rattle of hoofs on the chimney side. Then out of the snow I gaze below. "Hurrah, it's Kris Kringle," I cried. Then sly as a mouse he entered the house, and hung up his treasures so gay. Then out with a dash he sped like a flash, into the night and away.